Good morning. This video is going to be about specifically meal count attendance sheets. I'm also going to show you how to transfer the names from your roster onto the meal count and attendance sheets. There's a separate video link attached to the emails, also in YouTube, on how to transfer a roster onto the meal count and attendance sheets. But I'm just going to go through the whole meal count and attendance sheet. So I'll show you how to do that. First thing I'm going to do, I'm basically going to start with a, let me remove these names. I want to start with a blank canvas. I just want to start with a blank meal count and attendance sheet, okay? So the first thing I normally do with mine is I'll put my cursor next to site. I scroll all the way over to this last column. You see where it says attendance. And using this box up here, it's a merge and center box. I'm just going to merge across because I want to be able to type all the way across there. So clicking on inside this box it's right underneath help. I'm going to merge across again. And you'll see why I'm doing this. Right underneath help, click the down arrow inside the box, merge across. So I'm going to go up to my first one, and I'm going to type in my child care center. Okay, I'm going to go to the next box, and some of our centers have what we call in our emails core meals. That means the meals and snacks that you serve to your general population. You know, the children that are there from morning until the time the parent picks them up. Then some of our centers have school-age children. They come in the morning, they leave and go to school, and they come back during the day. Some of our centers have opted for 2 meals and 1 snack for school-age children. And through the CACFP, you can give those school-age children breakfast, PM snack, and supper. We have some centers that opted not to give them 2 meals and 1 snack. So their school-age children just get breakfast and PM snack. They don't get a lunch. PDE does not allow school-age children to receive lunch when they're not attending the center. They consider that double dipping because there's a national school lunch program at the school that's federally funded as well. And they make assumptions that those kids are eating while at school. And even if the kids turn away the lunch, we still can't claim lunch under this program. That's why you have an alternative meal and snack of breakfast, supper, and PM snack. And the centers that do that, to be honest, they typically receive a higher check. But we do understand the centers that just want breakfast and PM snack because it's easier for them. Either way, the reason why I mention that, if you do have breakfast, supper, and PM snack for school-age children, I'm going to show you 2 sheets that you have to do, that you have to submit. This first sheet is just going to be for general population. So I'm going to put breakfast / lunch / PM snack, okay? Now, what I do, and some centers do, is they'll code this. And the state likes to see this. They like to see a distinction between the 2 meal count and attendance sheets. So you got your center name, specific meals and snacks, general population, okay? Now, what I would do, and I'll show you this at the top, like when you open up your Excel, you're not going to see week 1, week 2, week 3, week 5. But what I do is I go May, which is the month. I'm just showing for people that aren't that Excel savvy. And if I'm going for the month of May, remember, just like the operational expense logs, we look at an actual calendar. So May 2nd is actually Monday. If I scroll over, May 3rd, 2022 is actually Tuesday. May 4th, 2022 is actually Wednesday. And I blew up the screen, so hopefully you can see it. 5/5 is actually Thursday. And remember, you have to put full dates in. Believe it or not, during an audit and review, if PDE does not see full dates each day, if they do not see a month and year on each sheet, they'll reject the sheet. And if we claim meals, they'll ask us to reimburse them. That's how strict they are with this sheet. So remember, month and year, full dates only, okay? You have to have a month, a day, and a year, all right? So you notice, like, if I go back down to this tab, I'm not even gonna put the names in, I'm just telling you how to set it up. So you notice at the bottom, you might have something different down here. I just changed the title. How you change the title on the tab, you just click rename, okay? If I want to add a sheet, what I do is I click on the first tab and I click on move and copy. Once it comes up, what you're copying across is week 1. So create a copy, right? I'm still clicking in week 1. Create a copy. I'm gonna keep doing that until I get. I'm gonna keep doing it until I got 5 copies in there. Okay. So you got 1, 2, 3. Now I had it set up the correct way earlier. I'm just going back over it to show you. So I'm going to click week 1, create a copy. Okay. And I'm still in the first tab when I'm doing this. Week 1, create a copy. Okay. So now what I can do, because these aren't going to be in here when you pull up yours, I'm just going to delete these. I'm going to remove these just so we can go back to what you would actually see. You see how I got these in here? These were from stuff I did earlier. That's why I'm removing them. Okay, so I'm back to this one, to the blank one where I dated for the first week, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rename it. Delete, delete. Right click. I'm going to rename this week 2. Right click. Rename this week 3. Right click. Rename this week 4. Right click. Rename this week 5. Okay. So when I click on each one, it's going to represent the same one as week 1. But now that I have all 5 tabs in there, now I can go and change week 2, which, looking at a calendar, I think that's the 9th through the 13th. So I'm just going to go across and change this to where's that at? Make sure I got it right. Okay. So that's week 2, yeah, I was in the right one, okay. So week 2, 10, Wednesday is the 11th, Thursday is the Friday is the 13th, right? So I'm gonna try to manage this the best way I can because I blew the screen up. It says it'll take me longer to show you, but I want you to see it. So I'm in week 3 now. That's gonna be the 16th through the 20th, looking at a calendar. '16th is Monday. 17th is Tuesday. 18th is Wednesday. I don't know why it jumps like that. '19th, 20th, okay? Now I want to go to week 4, and we got 23rd. That's the week we in now. 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, right? Now I'm going to go to week 5. Monday is going to be the 30th. Tuesday is going to be the 31st. I'm going to get rid of Wednesday because you have to keep these meal count sheets separate, matching it to an actual calendar. So when the state does audits, whenever the first of the month starts, they just want to see the sheet for that day or that week. Whenever the 31st ends, they want the sheet to stop right there. So you don't, it doesn't happen anymore, but it's happened in the past. Someone would keep going 6-1. You can't do that. You have to keep them separate. Okay. So going back to week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. I have all my sheets. So I'm going to go back to week 1. And what I can do is I can go over to a roster. I'm going to show you how to do this. So I go over to my CACFP roster. Now, even though this says June, like we're in the month of May, last month when you submitted your end of the month paperwork, you submitted a CACFP roster as of May 1st, right? So let's just pretend that this is the roster that you submitted May 1st. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the names. And this is for the purpose of transferring the roster. I'm going to highlight the names, and I'm going to click on the number icon under mailings. It's like under mailings and review. And I'm going to get rid of, I'm going to kind of line it up this way. Get rid of the numbers, okay? I clicked on the number again to get rid of the numbers. Then what I can do is I could delete the categories right here. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete this. This is just for the purpose of transferring it to a roster. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the names and I'm going to go no spacing. Okay. Clicked on no spacing. Bring it up. Put my cursor there, bring it up. Put my cursor there, bring it up. Put my cursor there, bring it up. Right? Now that I have it set up like this, I can right click that and copy it. Okay? Go back to my Excel. I know I got 13 names there. 3, 4, 5. I'll just go down. Right click that. I'm going to click on the second icon, not the one with the paintbrush, the second one. And I can just transfer my names in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I got all 13 names in there. So remember, when you right click under paste, it's the second icon. So I can pretty much do that in every sheet that I'm doing. I could click down. Let me just click down to 20 and go in week 3. Do the same thing. Because remember, I still had it on copy. It's a little harder to work with because I blew the screen up. So I got that in week 4. And I'm going to show you something else too. How to add and delete names. I just thought about that. Because sometimes you guys delete names using a variety of methods that you shouldn't really be using. So I have all the names in there, okay? I just basically did it from my roster. Now, if I wanted to, now you're not going to save this roster. I'm just going back to my roster. If I wanted to, I could just click back, and get my original roster back like that, right? I could just click until I can't click back anymore. And then I can exit out, because remember, you already saved it, or you could just save it again. So going back to my meal count and attendance sheets. Now, say for example, Janelle left your center. All you need to do is put your cursor where 16 is and click on it. And then click delete. Then what I would do is I would go to the very bottom and I would click insert just to keep it uniform. So I removed the name. I'm going to add another row to replace the name I deleted. So I'll go back again, like say for example, Marcus left. Highlight the whole row, starting at 10, delete. And I could go down right before the column, right above daily total, select insert. So I keep the uniformity of the sheet. Okay, so let me just go back, put Janelle back in there, or Marcus. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do, now remember point of service, and I'll just do it for week one. I'm not gonna do it for every single week. But for week one point of service, now that I have my full dates in, month and year, I've transferred my names onto the meal count sheet. I have my ABC Degree Academy, specific meals and stack, general population, etc. Now the only difference with this is, say if you're doing school-age children and you're getting alternative meals, it should look like this, okay? And you should have school-age children here, right? So instead of breakfast, lunch, and PM snack, they get breakfast, supper, PM snack. And then these symbols should be different. It should look something like this, right? S is for supper, okay? So sometimes you guys send me sheets, you got school-age children, breakfast, supper, and PM snack, but you still got lunch here. You got to change that symbol to S to represent supper. Like, so let me go back out. Right? So let me just change it back to complete this. And then like if you did a school age meal count and attendance sheet, obviously the names are going to be different. Because remember, this one was for your general population, kids that are at the center all day. So breakfast, lunch, PM snack, or whatever your core meals are. You may have AM snack, lunch, and supper as your core meals for general population. Separate sheet, separate full names. You got a separate sheet for your school-age children, which would be breakfast, supper, PM snack. I'm going to change this back to lunch for this illustration. Right? Breakfast, lunch, PM snack, breakfast, lunch, PM snack. It should always match. So what I would do, the only thing you have to do outside of what we just did, say for example, Marcus, you serve Marcus. Now point of service is technically with the state is after you placed everything in front of the child and the child is ready to eat. They have their beverage, they have their plate of food, their snack, whatever the meal or snack is, you placed everything in front of the child. You can now go and mark this off. Some centers serve by classroom. You can mark this off after you serve the entire classroom. Some serve by age groups. You can mark this off after you serve the entire age group. But it's always after you placed everything in front of the child. So just for this illustration, say for example, on Monday, I'm completing this. Whenever a child received at least one meal or snack, you always mark a P for presence in the attendance column. Say, for example, Teresa is a child and she was absent for the day. She didn't receive any meals or snacks. You mark an A for absent. See, those are the two symbols. I removed N what is it, not scheduled? Because that's not necessary. Like less is more with PDE. During the state audit, they're only concerned with these two symbols. P for present, whenever a child received a meal or snack. A for absent, whenever the child is not there. Those are the only two symbols you need to use with this CACFP Pro. Other sponsors may be different, but I found less is more effective with the state. So again, this child received this. Now I will say this, just to help you. I'm not suggesting you do this. You have Marcus, he's there all day. And you turn in something like this, which hurts your check. He came in the morning, and he's there until his mom or dad picked him up, but you just checked off one snack. I wouldn't do it. I'm just saying, I'm not suggesting what you do, but I wouldn't do it. If a child is at my center all day, technically with the USDA regulation, if you place food in front of a child or a snack and they don't eat it, it still counts, okay? So again, marking P for present, only marking A when the child receives nothing. And that's basically how you complete this. You don't do the daily total line. We do that when we collect the meal counts, when we file a claim. You don't do the weekly total section. We do that before we process the claim. So we do this, we do this. The only thing you have to do is put your name at the top, the meals that are being marked off on this sheet, who it's for, month and year, full dates. You can use a check mark or an X, it doesn't matter. But whenever you serve a meal, it's P, A for absent. That's basically it. That's all you have to do with this. I showed you how to remove names, and whenever you remove something, you add a row, okay? Hopefully this helps you as well. Thank you.